Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Julian, aka Arcdian, aka Tuberman Official, or widely known as the man that knows it all. In this episode we're going to talk about investing, but please do not take this as investment advice. Always do your own research before putting money on something. Stay with me for the next couple of minutes and I will give you 5 shares that I would personally sell now and in the next 3 to 5 years. Of course, this information is not for millionaires or billionaires. It is for small investors that are planning to become millionaires. I want you guys to do good, so pay attention to this. The last one is a shocker. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That will help me a lot on the long run. Like, share, and leave a comment in the section below to tell me what you think about this information. So here we go. The number one share that I would sell right now and in the next 5 years is Apple. Just so we make it clear, I'm not talking here to the people that do not own any of these shares. I'm preaching to the ones that own the shares on exchanges already and they want to sell them. Because there's a big difference between owning a share and wanting to sell it outright and not owning any shares and wanting to sell these specific shares. So when you want to do that, you go to an exchange and the exchange is lending you the shares that you are planning to sell for a commission. It's similar to getting a loan, if you want me to put this into perspective for you. So again, this is information for people that own these shares already. So why am I saying that Apple is a big sell? One reason is the fact that Apple turned into a $1 trillion company and you want to join a company in order to make a lot of money before it reaches that level. Of course, there are many other factors determining the dynamics of the share price on the stock market, but the size of Apple should never be underestimated as it matters a lot in order for you to make money. At most, buying Apple shares will make you residual profits that will count for nothing in terms of accumulating wealth. Another big reason why Apple is a sell right now, and maybe this is the biggest reason out of all, is their clients. Most of these people, despite earning very little a month, they've gone into these upgrading contracts with Apple for which they're paying 200, 300 pounds per month. So as their financial situation is getting worse because of the crash of the global economies, they will default on their loans. So less and less liquidity will go into Apple, which will have an impact on the share price on the stock market. To give you an example, I live in the UK, in London, and I know a lot of people that are earning between 2,000 and 2,500 a month, and they're paying roughly 200 pounds per month for their renewal contract with Apple. And every year, as Apple is releasing new iPhone models, they're upgrading and paying even more. So last year they paid 150 a month, and this year will pay 200 a month. And this will have a huge impact as their buying capacity, their financial situation as a whole is getting really, really bad. So they will have to compromise. Am I paying the mortgage or am I gonna pay the loan I have with Apple for the new iPhone model? Another reason why Apple is a really bad investment now and in the next 5 years is the fact that, for example, the European Union will soon introduce legislation to force them to produce phones with batteries that can be changed. So people will stop buying new iPhones, upgrading to their contracts, and they will change the batteries. For this reason, less and less money will go into Apple from upgraded contracts, and this is a really big deal for Apple. Another reason is the fact that all these people that cannot repay their loans with Apple for the upgrades won't be able to buy new Apple products with a loan because their credit score is shattered. So this is another aspect that you need to consider when buying Apple stock in the current market conditions. Okay, stock number 2 is, drum roll, Facebook. This is such a big sell that it would take me hours to talk about. So reason number 1 why Facebook is a massive sell now and in the next 5 years. As you've seen in the last 3 years, Facebook has been taken over by secret services and used to spread mis and disinformation into the population. As people worldwide are waking up to this terrifying situation, they're switching to other decentralized social media platforms. And that will have a massive impact on Facebook as a company and their share price on the stock market. Another reason why Facebook is a really bad investment now and in the next 5 years is the fact that they're investing billions in failing blockchain technologies, aka the metaverse. They're losing billions with that project, and it's bound to fail because in the current financial situation, with the crash of the global economies, and when people are struggling to put meals on their table, the metaverse cannot succeed. I've always said that the metaverse cannot succeed in the current economic conditions. If people are struggling to make money, they cannot have their goggles on and sit in the metaverse to do what? As the metaverse is not providing anything. It's not providing happiness, it's not providing clothes, it's not providing meals, it's not providing a healthy lifestyle. So no person will have their goggles on, sit there while they have nothing to eat and they have nowhere to sleep or their family is in trouble. So this information is not being talked about in the news anywhere, but Facebook is losing billions in these failing projects. This is why the share price of Facebook will have a massive crash in the near future. And as people are jumping ship and going to other decentralized platforms where they have full control of their lives and of the information they're digesting, the situation can only get worse for Facebook. So Facebook is a massive, massive sell. Hi there, thank you for watching my videos. Did you know that for the first time my books are now available around the world via Amazon? Go ahead and purchase This Is My Electronica, a book about electronic music, DJing, love and Ibiza, and Kiss the Girl, Save the World, Kill the Baddie, a book inspired by my hectic life. Or alternatively, visit rdn.com for more information. Cheers. Another type of share that you should sell right now and in the next 5 years, maybe earlier than that, in the next 3 years or less, is any share in a lithium mining company. This is due to the fact that as we dig deeper into this technology, we're seeing that the disasters this technology, lithium mining technology, is causing to the planet makes oil companies seem like children in the playground. I wouldn't want to be the one holding the bag filled with this type of shares when the world finally decides to scrap this lithium battery technology. So be careful. I truly think that we're beyond the peak value of this type of shares. They were a good buy in the past, but definitely not in the future. This is the time to sell your shares in lithium mining companies. That's a fact. Another share that I think is a massive sell, and it might come as a shock for many people, is Uber. I'm saying that because, as you might know or might not know, they're trying to overregulate the private hire industry in the UK and around the world to bits. I believe this because they're trying to overregulate the private hire industry around the world, and they've done it severely in the UK. I don't know if you know, but compared to pre-pandemic years, the drivers in the UK are making roughly 60 to 80% less while working with Uber, in partnership with Uber. So that is tragic for drivers and riders alike who cannot book an Uber in a decent amount of time, like 10-15 minutes. Sometimes it can last for hours, and they still do not get an Uber driver coming to pick them up. Currently, Uber, the regulators, and the media are lying to the public, saying that the state of the business is really good compared to before, when the legislation was considering drivers as self-employed. They changed the law. The Supreme Court decided that drivers are actually workers, which is detrimental to their business. That's why their incomes dropped and plummeted 60 to 80%, and riders are struggling to make a booking on the Uber platform. Especially in central London, it's almost impossible to book an Uber, whereas before you could have an Uber coming to pick you up in less than a minute. So because of this and of many other factors, I think this is a global thing. They're trying to overregulate private hire because self-employed people are making a lot of money or used to make a lot of money, and governments worldwide do not want that. And they're colluding together with all these big corporations that have been taken over by, I call them conspirators, just to put people in their place and stop them from making a lot of money. So Uber's situation is actually really, really bad in terms of how they do business and how much money they're making currently. And they have many, many legal hurdles to overcome. So actually, the state of Uber is really, really bad. Drivers are making 60 to 80% less money compared to 2019 pre-pandemic levels. Riders are struggling to book an Uber, which is not a good sign. And Uber is overregulated so bad that they might make some money on the short term, but on the long run, I truly think that their share price will go under $1. I don't know when that's going to happen, but if these current circumstances continue and drivers do not go back to being considered self-employed and this worker status spreads around the world, it will be really, really bad for Uber, for the whole corporation. If you truly want to understand what I'm talking about, you might as well go to Amazon. Me and my brother, we wrote this book. It's called Dude, Where's My Ride? And it explains in detail the situation of Uber in the UK and what might come in the future around the world when we talk about Uber as a whole. So I personally think that Uber is a massive sell right now and in the future. They also promote this switch to electric, which is not viable as drivers are not earning enough to support their families and switch to electric. This is nonsense. What's happening nowadays is nonsense, especially in the UK. I truly believe that Uber stock will go to under $1 soon. I don't know when exactly. It might go up in the next year or so, but overall, in the next 5 to 10 years, I think Uber will crash. Finally, to put this into perspective, if one driver was making roughly 5,000, 6,000 pounds in 25 days of work before the pandemic, work on the Uber platform, nowadays, after Uber keeps roughly, in some instances, they can keep even 50-60% off the driver's fare, a driver is struggling to make between 2,500 and 3,000 pounds, no matter how long they would stay on the app, on the platform. They can stay online for 30 days and they would not go over a certain threshold because nowadays Uber is limiting how much drivers can make, whereas before there was no limit. That's why in 25 days roughly, so that means that they had enough spare time as well to book time off, to spend time with their families, to travel, you name it. They were making between 5,000 and 6,000 pounds gross, not net, gross. They had expenses, but they were not as high as today. So their situation is actually desperate nowadays. And especially the ones that drive electric, they are making no profit. So bad Uber is going down. I don't know when, but they will go down as a corporation. And again, don't forget, purchase the book Dude, Where's My Ride from Amazon and enjoy the read. It's really interesting and it contains details you will not find anywhere else. And now the final share that I was telling you about in the beginning of the video that will crash eventually is Tesla. I know many of you will call me crazy, but hear me out. Tesla is a company building vehicles, really good vehicles with good performance, but based on lithium-ion batteries. So as I was saying previously, once this technology gets scrapped, and it will get scrapped, I'm thinking before 2025, actually, maybe starting in 2024, because it's a technology that is killing the planet really fast, poisoning the ground, you name it, enslaving people, many, many bad things involved in this technology. Another aspect is the fact that Elon Musk is building all these charging infrastructure on a failing grid. The grid cannot take all these charges, and we're going to have massive, massive issues in terms of charging our vehicles all at once. If that happens, we have power cuts lasting for weeks, I think. So far, we've got electric vehicles that run with a failing technology. We've got chargers, huge infrastructure that are supported by a failing electrical grid. And also, from 2024 or 2025, they will start taxing heavily the electric vehicle owners, especially in London or maybe throughout the UK, but mainly in London. This current mayor has a strategy of imposing tax on electric vehicles from 2024-2025 that will shatter the finances of electric vehicle owners. So what do you think will happen with all these electric vehicles when true renewable technologies will be brought into the market? People will take their vehicles back, and we're getting stuck with this charging infrastructure that won't be used anymore. So I always said that Elon Musk is a wolf in disguise, but people keep telling me off because, for example, he's an engineer and he's promoting a failing technology, and he always knew how dangerous this type of propulsion is based on lithium batteries. And also he bought Twitter recently, and everybody is like praising him for what he's done, that he decentralized the platform, that you're free to speak your mind on Twitter. But he introduced a charge for the blue tick, and if you don't have the blue tick, your comments and your activity will be put at the back of the list. So he's promoting all these futuristic plans of the World Economic Forum, of the UN, basically living by subscription, with which I do not agree. If you remember a while back, the share price of Tesla went so high up, close to $1,000, and Elon was seeing that not many investors are jumping in to buy Tesla stock on the stock market. And he decided to do a share split and reduce the price of the shares, so retail investors jump in again at a lower price to buy Tesla shares. And basically what he's done, he issued more shares, he diluted the market. He issued 3 more shares per share, I think. I hope I'm not wrong. And basically by diluting the market, the share price of Tesla dropped to around $200-300. So I saw that as a clue about the state of his corporation. And putting everything together, all this information about his propulsion system, lithium-ion batteries, then his views on how the world should be in the future, living by subscription, the grid, the infrastructure of Tesla chargers. So by putting all this information together about Elon Musk and Tesla, I truly think that his company will go down for a while. I don't know if that's going to happen soon or not. I truly think it will coincide with the rolling back of lithium-ion technologies. If that happens really soon, Tesla is going down because they will not have the ability to change to the new renewable system that they're going to bring into the market. Now, he might have a strategy, a backup strategy to be able to do the switch to the new renewable systems, but I really think that these people that bought Teslas will be stuck with the vehicles because they won't be able to modify them to implement the new renewable propulsion that Elon Musk might or might not be able to bring into the company. So I truly think that Tesla is a massive sell now and in the next 5 years. I really appreciate you watching this video. I salute you, and please join me in the next video where I'm gonna talk about 5 shares that you should buy now and hold for at least 3 to 6 years. Join me in the next video. Until next time, goodbye.